An asset is anything that you buy for the purpose of financial gain. Hey shippers, hey farm clients, hey prospective clients. Welcome back to Learn with Troy. If you are a returning subscriber, I love you. And if you're just meeting today, welcome to Learn with Troy, and I hope you stick with me. So what do I have for you guys today? Last week I talked about the 50-30-20 budget rule method, and I dive into how to stick to how to stick to your budget plan and things to do to ensure that you do them all the time rather than going in and out of your um money habits. And I asked the question on if the people that actually answered, thank you so much. I saw your comments. I think just one person answered. Thank you for your comments. I asked if debt is an asset or a liability, and the person said it's an asset. You are quite right. And I will just say, debt is considered an asset if the purpose of the debt is for the growth of for your growth or for the growth of the company for a good cause, but it is still um written under liability, but it is actually an asset. So I don't want to dive into that too much. I don't want to digress away from the point of today. So today I'm going to be talking about goals, risk appetite, the investing space, which I'll be talking about the asset classes, micro environment, macro environment, all that. And I'm also going to be talking about the investments portfolio, just a bit like nothing much about that, but just to enlighten us on what it is and why it is part of finance class. So without further ado, let me dive into it. So what are your goals? Do you have goals? Whatever your goals fall under, it might be a short-term goal, long-term goal. Whatever those goals are, it might be short, long, or medium. It has to be smart. Your goals has to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So whatever the goals are, either the long, medium, or long time or short term goals, it has to be smart, and it has to be um it has to be flexible. You don't want to have a goal that is rigid because it might affect you in the long run. That was why before the end of the previous video, I asked that you should learn to know where you are at the moment. Wherever you are at the moment will determine the way your investment portfolio. So that's about that. So risk appetite. Your risk appetite, you have to know where your risk appetite, like what you can afford to risk based on your money before you can actually start investing. You have to know if you have a medium risk or a higher risk or a low risk, whatever risk you can take. You have to know your risk appetite and how much risk you can actually take before you start investing. So knowing all that, knowing your goals, knowing your risk appetite, investing space. In the investing space, I'll talk about the asset classes, macro environments, micro environments. What an asset is anything that you buy for the purpose of financial gain. Assets that are similar can be placed under the same group, which are known as the asset classes. So the asset classes include the low risk assets, medium risk assets, high risk assets, and the very high risk assets. So the low risk assets fall under cash. Cash is an example of a low risk. Fixed deposits, sovereign treasuries like government bonds. Example of medium risk assets are real estate and corporate debt, and so on. An example of if a high risk asset are stock, commodities, and currencies. Yeah, and some other ones too. And an example of a very high risk asset is cryptocurrency, startup investment, and many more others. So once you know where your what you are trying to invest in, you will know where the your risks your risks appetite. Once you know your risk appetite, what you can take, that is when you can make use of the asset class. So you know where you can invest in order not to go higher than your risk appetite or go lower than your risk appetite. And yes, the higher your risks, the higher your returns. That's just the rule of it. So once we are clear about that, I want to dive into the macroeconomic environment affects the economy as a whole. Example are inflation rates, exchange rates, security, interest rates, and many others. Inflation and exchange rate are key factors when drawing a financial plan. And what is inflation? Inflation is the increase, is the rise in the prices of goods and services in the economy. Exchange rate is the price at which a country's currency is in relation to another country's currency. Example of such is the dollar and the naira. I know even if you don't know much about why they are increasing and all that, you're already conversantly, normally you would have gone out and people will tell you it's dollar that is rising. That is why so is up. So all those things are things to consider before drawing up a finance. The micro environment. What's the micro environment? Micro environment is are factors that affect not the like it doesn't affect the entire economy. It affects some specific parts of the country, and the effect is always immediate. Um, Example of micro environment is labor, demand and supply, uh, regulatory environments. So like for example, let's say if the price of fertilizer increases today, it doesn't mean it would not affect the environment, because it actually in turn rises the amount the price of what we buy in the market, but it does not really affect us directly. It doesn't affect we that are not in the labor market. So it affects the farmer more than the people in the environment, in the economies rather. So that is what it's meant by a microeconomic environment. So an investment portfolio is a collection of investments. So an investment portfolio should comprises of all the asset classes, which is the low risk asset class, the medium risk, high risk, very high risk asset class. Also, in other words, it should be diversified. It should contain all the four asset classes. So the essence of diversifying is to minimize risks. Yes. So that is that about that. I'm going to post, if you are based in Nigeria, apps that can help you invest in stock. I think we have Trove, we have Chaka, we have Bamboo, we have Passful. In diaspora, not in Nigeria, you can make use of Robinhood for the US. You can make use of Free Trade for UK. Make use of World Simple for Canada. Then I think UAE. We have Sawa. something like that. I'll list it out. Make sure. So if you are in Nigeria, also you want to invest in you want to save, the first on my own list that I use is mustard.ng. Can make use of Mustard, can make use of Piggyvest, can make use of what else? Cowrywise, Ladder. So if you are looking to invest, if you are looking to invest in cryptocurrency, we have Binance, we have Luno, we have let's talk about that. If you learned a thing or two from this video, like, subscribe, comment below in the comment section, share, because sharing is caring. And until next time, guys.